Holy shit. I'm just in awe of all the stuff. I'm trying to check out all the stuff you got back there.
That's what I have too.
Honestly.
Going through one by one.
Hold
It's
on.
quite the layer. Oh, they're on the ceiling,
Yeah,
too.
there's a men poster in the back.
Oh,
Yeah,
fuck
so
yeah.
we have a men poster up there. I got a barbarian poster right there.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Ingested flag, Crown Magnetar flag. I have a 1349 flag on the other side.
Yes, you do.
I have a bunch of like movie posters and like smaller stuff on my ceiling all over. I have wall shelves on the other side with my like movie collection. I have a stack of posters I stole from work.
Fuck yeah.
This place is a random eclectic. I have a shelf of like Arrow box sets above me next to a Bones and All poster and a Halloween vinyl on the wall. Like it's yeah.
That's
Hell
awesome.
yeah,
There's a lot
man.
of stuff happening.
These
here.
are our people.
Stealing shit from work, baby.
Yeah.
I love
yeah.
it. Shout out your work right now.
Yeah, exact address.
They gave it to us.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Dude, that was like my dream growing up is I applied to my local theater no less than 10 times and they just wouldn't fucking hire me.
Why?
I don't know.
You're not
Tall?
AMC material.
It wasn't an AMC, it was a National Amusements at the time, which I think no longer exists.
I don't understand.
Well, they don't need your
I
shit.
wanted it too bad.
You probably walked in and just like, what were you wearing?
I was in
What
Ohio.
were you wearing? This fucking...
Tarantino
I wanted
cosplay.
exactly.
Was it the Carhartt jumpsuit or was it
No,
that I've heard
it
about?
wasn't. I mean, I didn't usually wear it. I mean, I wore that in public a
Yeah,
lot because it was
yeah.
fucking cold, but I didn't wear that to try and work at the movie theater because I wanted to steal the fucking stand-ups and stuff.
Yeah,
man.
cool
That was like
posters
why
and
I wanted
stuff.
the job.
Now's
I
the
almost
time to work at a
stole
theater.
a boogeyman standee last year,
Fuck
but
yeah.
it was so big there was nowhere I could have fit it anywhere.
Yeah, you could have figured it out.
Fair, yeah.
You got a
That's
ceiling.
cold storage for later.
I actually have a box of like the old Universal Monsters stand-ups in the garage.
Yeah?
That are like they're disgusting. They look
Period
so
from
disgusting.
1932.
Yeah, exactly from 1932.
We have a Nightmare on Elm Street one that I don't know if we still have it, but we did forever, and it would come out every Halloween, and I just fucking that thing would scare the shit out of me so often because it's a man-sized
Street?
man.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
It didn't matter that it was Freddy Krueger; it could have been Dorothy, but just like seeing a person where you're not
Yeah.
expecting a person because it was by the front door of my parents' house every time I walked by. Just
My favorite shit is I have a Gollum and a Smeagol, and they were voice activated, and I left them in Ohio in my parents' basement, and so they were down there. And my dad would see it every time he'd go downstairs, scare the fucking shit out of him. It's like every time he walks down.
were
the
they
steps.
like Gollum sized?
Yeah, they were small, like actual,
but like 4 feet, like 3 feet
yeah,
tall.
like
And
little
it
guys.
speaks.
God.
It makes noise.
Yeah,
Amazing.
Oh,
it was fucking cool.
That's a nightmare.
Please tell me it's fucking like motion activated.
It
or
was,
something.
yeah.
Oh, it's even better.
And it's 20 years old now. It doesn't work
I
anymore.
wish it did though. Like your dad just like walking by it.
Yeah, that's exactly what it sounds. That's what it
so
sounds
good.
like now.
That was so good.
20 years after that. Welcome back to the Shitcast! I'm Curtis.
I'm Austin.
And Cody.
And Lucas.
And we have a very special guest.
The
Very
specialist
special
guest.
guest. Who are you? What
my
are you
name
doing
is-
here?
I am Liam.
Fucking Liam, boys, you can tell me that I'm wrong. Hopefully you don't, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. I think Liam was the first person that I remember clocking as being someone that was like actually listening to us and really fucking digging it.
Correct.
Yes.
Correct. Yeah, for sure. There were a handful of OGs. Liam is the OGest of the OGs.
Yeah.
But like when we realize like, oh, other people that we don't know are
Yes,
listening to
not
this,
just our friends
and
are
probably our friends. TBH, my friends. Will
Most
fucking
of my
listen to
friends
this.
do not.
My friends who
engage
would
with
listen to
this.
this are in this room. But so Liam and Charles and a couple other homies out there, and some have just fell off at this point that we don't hear from anymore.
I know we've lost some homies.
This is true.
Oh,
There
yeah.
are a few.
Veronica?
Yeah.
Victoria?
Victoria. Yeah.
She came and went really quick.
Yeah.
That's
really
right,
quick.
yeah.
She told us to watch a movie, didn't watch it, or I think listened to the episode and left.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
I think
It was some like weird
we yelled
prank.
at her
Yeah.
for doing that.
Yeah.
Some sort of
Did we yell at her for doing that?
Yeah,
Please don't.
'cause she
Did
made
we
us-
actually?
No, we
No,
wasn't yell
kind of,
at.
because we watched something she wanted. And then
We watched
she's like,
Spiral.
Oh,
We
oh,
watched
yeah,
Spiral.
Yeah.
Wait,
that
not
movie-
the Saw one.
No,
Yeah, no.
not
Yeah.
the Saw one. The
We didn't
cult
like
one.
the
The
movie,
weird,
did
the
we?
weird.
We didn't love it.
Cult
That could be it.
in the woods.
Yeah.
One, right?
Yeah.
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 That was not good. And then
Correct.
we said, hey, this was
Yeah.
not good. He's like, oh, sorry, I didn't watch it.
Yeah, she was like, oh, I didn't watch it. I just wanted to know.
And that was the last we heard of
that was
Victoria.
the last we heard of her. So, but we're not concerned with them. We're concerned with Liam, who's here.
We are so delightfully concerned with Liam.
He's
Liam's-
sort of here. He's on a his head is a floating.
He's right here.
He's sitting
Yeah.
on top of a Hallmark box on a MacBook.
Yes.
Hello.
Liam, where are you right now?
Right now I am at home. I am in San Antonio, Texas.
Okay.
All right.
Down in San. Is that enough?
Yeah, I mean,
It's incredible.
just immediately like, what are you doing?
As soon as
How many times?
Stop. I feel the cash.
It starts to make me feel like I actually know more songs in music than I think I do, because
Right.
like people will just start singing lyrics on one of Youth for and I'll be like immediately like, what the fuck are you doing? Right?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
won't even know what the song is.
Correct.
But I'll know it. That's
You
a
just-
song.
you just know
I've
it's
heard
bad.
that.
Yeah.
I've heard that fucking song.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
We should. I'm trying to think of a way that we can write a song, get it into his brain, and then just flagrantly sing it,
Yeah.
and then make him upset, and then refuse to cut it.
Because we own it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you wouldn't know. Like I'm trying to find a way, like if we could like write a K-pop
long
song.
con.
It's an extremely.
That's
long
a long con.
We write a K-pop song. We get BTK to do it.
BTK?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
BTK, yeah, right. Yeah.
The
Yeah.
BTK killer?
Yeah.
You
From
heard
his
that right.
cell, BTK is gonna do the K-pop song. It's gonna be on the
Isn't he
radio. Hold on. Big
What do you
hit.
think?
Big hit. You're gonna be like, wow, Austin's got a nice new car. I don't know why. Big hit. Then on our show, we're gonna start singing the BTK K-pop song. You're not gonna know we wrote it, and you're gonna get all mad, and it's gonna be a whole thing, and we're gonna capture it, and then I'll get to say, "Ha ha, I wrote that song."
God.
BTK pop is a pretty good band name.
It is.
That's a really
And you
good
could
band.
do
K-pop,
you could
yeah.
do like BTS covers, but like horror versions.
Yes.
Well, all right, that's copyright.
Turn this off.
Yeah,
Turn
stop. Shut it down, boys. This is a really good idea. Shut it down.
This is the horror movie podcast. We just discuss horror films on
it.
a paid platform. 'Cause
Yeah, I was
this
gonna
is
say
a
this is-
Patreon
this is-
exclusive.
This is only Patreon, so we don't have to do our normal spiel.
We do not.
You don't have to say shit.
You're already here. There's like
do not.
6
Yeah.
people who have access to this as of right now.
You've
But
paid for this.
as the internet exists, this
Accurate.
will live on. So
Uh-huh.
it could be a lot more people.
And
than
here we
that.
are.
Yeah,
So if you're here, you're family.
this is very true. Liam,
Papa
how's it feel to
John's.
be here?
It feels great to be here, honestly. It's yeah. I've messaged you guys all quite a lot over the past. I think I didn't start talking to you, like actually talking to you, until about over a year ago. I think it was like
Yeah.
I messaged you guys after I walked home from watching The Northman one night.
Wow.
Because I used to work at a pizza place, and I worked at the pizza place, and I walked across the street to the theater where I now work, and I watched The Northman, and I walked home, and I listened to the Queen of the Damned episode as I walked home. 'Cause I didn't have a car, so I walked like 2 miles home in the dark. It was like 11, it was like midnight, and I listened to the Queen of the Damned episode, and then I got home, and I was like, you know what? I should probably tell them I exist, because they're always asking, like, "Hey, message us." And I've been here since 2020, and I just like haven't.
And
fuck
see,
yeah, man.
and we like hearing this stuff.
We
Yeah, we-
love hearing.
Yeah.
And I
that
get it
people
too,
listen.
but I get it. Like, it's hard. Like, I listen
Totally.
to, especially since 2020, I listen to a fucking shit ton of podcasts, and I haven't reached out to any of them.
No, no, never, never.
The other
It's always
ones-
like, why?
Well,
I'm
the,
always
oth-
thinking,
the
why?
other ones I listen to are they're just brought with celebrities, so they don't want to hear
Oh,
from me.
oh, sure.
Yeah, they say they do, but it's unfounded.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Got it.
bullshit.
Hi, Jason Bateman. I would like to
Exactly,
be on
yeah,
your show, please.
Like Conan O'Brien, I like
Yeah.
your show. Like that's not going
Not
anywhere.
happening.
But a small podcast, as Liam knows, will reach right back out
Yes. Hi.
and become friends.
Hi. Hello.
Yeah. Thank God. Thank God.
It's like there's a red phone in the room that rings when we get interaction
Yeah,
from
yes.
anyone, and that's the image in my head. The red phone goes off, and we're like, "Fucking."
Mine is from Ghostbusters. We got one.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think that's basically what happened when Leah messaged us, right? Because we all immediately were like, "Dude, someone reached out.
Yeah.
There's someone here.
Someone here. Someone's listening." Liam,
Yeah.
how did you find us?
Hold on, let me get a pen.
So I won't do the long version of the story, but I used to listen to Killer POV /Shockwave / Now Colors of the Dark,
Sure.
And when I got a job, I started every week during COVID. I would, through either Dieblock DVD or Amazon, whatever, I would buy 1 or 2 like boutique Blu-ray films.
Okay.
So I started with the very first like Arrow movie I ever bought was Audition.
Nice.
Takashi Miike. And I watched it. And as much as I like at the time Colors of the Dark, they never really talked about specific films. It was never the ones that I had watched. And I wanted someone to talk about the things that I was watching because I was like, I wanted to hear other people discuss these things. So the very first episode I ever listened to was your first episode ever, the Audition, Ichi the Killer double feature.
Hell yeah.
And so I just searched up like Takashi Miike on Spotify and I listened to it. And then I didn't listen to the next few. I liked you guys. You were funny.
No, that's smart. You can skip those first few. Those first 5 are garbage. You can skip those.
No. I'm pretty sure it was the first one you were on, Austin. I think it was Bliss. Bliss was the next one I started listening to.
Oh yeah.
Oh wow.
And that was I watched Bliss because I got a Shudder account and I watched it and I found you guys again and I was like, these guys are funny. And so that was like June 2020, and I've like regular listener ever since then.
My God, basically since we started. That's like when we started like releasing episodes.
Guys,
was like around then, right?
It worked.
It worked. It's incredible.
Fantastic. The algorithm worked.
It's incredible.
The internet brought us
and that's
together.
kind of, I mean, that's how we started the fucking thing. It was like, how do we talk about things that we watch together? And Austin and I had done a couple of podcasts in the past, and these two beautiful souls, Cody and Lucas, came to me like, how do we fucking,
do you want to do
something
this
like
with
this?
us?
Yeah. So it's same over from us to you. It's like we just want to listen to things and talk about things that
Talk about this weird shit that we love.
that we love so much. So tell us more about that, Liam. What got you into this shit? Into horror movies, into outcast cinema, into the weird?
I guess like trying to think of how to phrase this. Like I've always been told, firstly, grew up in a very conservative, strict Christian home. Grandfather is a Southern Baptist pastor, so there's a lot of like scary stories out there. But
have you lived in San Antonio your whole life?
No, I was a military kid, so I bounced around,
Oh, cool.
which is definitely a part of that. I lived in England for a while.
Oh wow.
So like I've been to a lot of I don't remember which ones, but I visited a lot of like castles and like manors that certain like old Gothic stories are based on. I remember walking past Bram Stoker's house like in Dublin. Never went inside, but like I've walked past it. And so like being at these places and like visiting like Beatrice Potter's house and stuff, like different like literary people, I just started reading a lot and I had a lot of interests. And then as a kid, I just had like a really strange, specific, morbid curiosity for things. I was really into vampires. And I was really into like just monsters. And as I grew up, I kind of just started playing with that. And I hit a certain point where I was watching like Jaws and like Poltergeist and like the classic stuff. And then I was always very interested in the idea of horror films, especially after I heard someone, I believe it was like Guillermo del Toro. I heard him talking about how he considers horror films to be like the modern fairy tale, which as a kid reading fairy tales was very interesting to me. And so like as I grew older, I just started pirating movies online because I wasn't allowed to watch them.
As we all did.
So yeah. And so I just remember, and I just would like go down a list because like I like books. So I started reading Stephen King, and then I started pirating Misery and The Shining, and then I found my way into listening to like Killer POV Shockwaves and like these different places online where they were talking about these weird stuff, and I found myself really gravitated towards it, and I found some things I should not have watched way too young, and it just stuck with me, and I just like wanted to like keep going deeper and deeper and deeper into it.
The best drug in the world.
It really is
The best drug in the world.
It is one of the healthier ones.
Yeah.
I'll say that.
Yeah,
It's
you
pretty
don't
nice.
you don't die from it. So that's
probably
good.
not.
You don't.
I don't know.
But
The
you
crack
can
guys
be
seem to
damned-
really like it.
What we're about to talk today makes this drug not so good anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I got some sort of family member that like legit is in an insane asylum because of The Exorcist.
Oh, because of?
Yeah, like watched The Exorcist when
Yeah.
it came out in theaters. Got so fucked up as a result of it that he had to go to an insane asylum and stayed there.
Wow.
Because he has not been right since.
I remember my father. It's just since we're talking about that movie, I remember my father talking about seeing that movie. I think he was when he was living in Long Island, New York. But it was like an early screening, but the film got caught in the projector, and it like burned through.
Oh,
like halfway through the movie. He said
Pazuzu was here.
a large portion of the theater left.
Screamed and left. Yeah,
And
fuck
he was
that.
he said it was a like predominantly like black area, and so they enthusiastically left.
Liam, what was the what was the
totally
movie
lost
that
my
had the most impact on you? Do you think?
As a kid, honestly, the movie that had the most impact before I even watched it, the trailer for Scream 4 did something to me.
Nice.
Because
Dude, isn't it funny how that happens with trailers? Of
course,
I
yeah.
love that.
Because my mom loved those movies when she watched them in the 90s and such. And so we were bored and she was like, I want to go to the movies. And we were just like scrolling through like the theater list. And she's like, Scream, they made another one? And she clicked on it and watched it right there with me. And it was just a trailer, but my sheltered little mind, I had never seen anything like that, like as violent as that, like a guy just like with a knife, just like stabbing people. Like I knew that you could stab people, but like in that specific way, the way they had been framed, I had never, like, it unlocked something, and I was like, oh my God, you can do this to people. And I got way too excited.
Cinematically.
Cinematically. I was like, you can portray this.
Right. Real quick, remind us where in San Antonio? Not related, but like a cross street. No, totally.
Yeah.
No, totally get what you mean.
Yeah, especially, and I think again, like with the way that like trailers work, and like I think we've talked about this before on the show, right? Like the thing that got me, like, dove me head first into wanting to watch horror movies was Freddy Krueger. Having never seen a Freddy Krueger movie, and it was like I think 5 or 6 years of me just obsessing over the idea of Freddy Krueger before I even got to watch Freddy Krueger.
Too.
Yeah.
I've had those for sure. Where like it's going like walking through Blockbuster, you like see a poster or
case art,
a cover, and it just like sits in you. It just like sits in your brain. Like,
absolutely.
like I remember vividly the Silence of the Lambs poster.
Yeah.
Just like living in my brain
And-
for years before I saw it.
And the one that always stuck with me was Demon Knight, because that
Demon
was
Knight.
just plastered all over video. Take one, right up the block.
Yeah. Mine was Brain Dead.
Ah,
that
yeah.
fucking
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that too.
Yeah,
that one too.
That's a
Absolutely.
good point.
fucked me up.
Video
Anyway.
stores.
That's really interesting. Could you name your maybe your top 4 favorite horror films? Just interested. Get a little grab. I know we kind of shared this within our little Discord community. I guess those are 4 favorites overall. But just curious, if you were to pick 4 to like spend a day with.
E.T.
Look, I like E.T. I'm sorry. Top 4. That's a pain in the ass, but it would probably be Mandy.
Fuck yeah.
Yes.
Fuck yeah.
Yes.
I love Mandy. It's
So
a comfort
good.
movie.
So fucking good.
Kind of jacked up. It's a comfort movie, but it's a comfort movie. Another comfort movie, again, jacked up as a comfort movie for me would be Martyrs.
Okay, that all right.
Yeah.
That's
Weird.
I don't know if I'm there with
That's why
you
we're
on
here
that.
today.
That's why you have to pay for this.
Yeah. Trying to think here, because there's a bunch of them that, like, especially early on, I would just like rewatch and rewatch and rewatch. So I guess it'll be basic, and I'll drop Scream in there.
Fuck yeah, well. Hell yeah.
That's a good one.
I just saw Curtis's penis move.
Ain't nothing basic about Scream. It's the goddamn best movie ever made.
And then number 4.
Oh, did he say The Northman? I think I heard him say The Northman.
Oh
yeah.
No, he definitely did
No,
not.
he had listened to the Queen of the Damned episode.
Yeah. Oh, so Queen of the Damned. Got it.
Number 4.
If you,
You know what? Not a horror movie, but I'm gonna have to drop Eraserhead because of what it did to me.
Yeah.
fuck yeah. And I still haven't seen Eraserhead.
I think
one could argue that's a horror
I think
movie.
I could easily argue for
One
a
could
while. on
absolutely
that
argue.
horror movie.
It's a
David
horror
Lynch is
movie.
his own genre.
The horror of life.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's something. It is something.
Liam,
David
one time,
Lynch is crazy. The only film I will never ever rewatch in my entire life, no matter what, is The Elephant Man. That
Okay.
I don't know if any of you have seen that.
I actually have not watched that one.
That's one of the
Yeah, it's one of the few Lynch
saddest-
movies I haven't gotten to yet.
a sad.
It is.
Oh, I'm
it is
sure.
damaging.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, especially
It is
because
very
it's
sad.
based
Truly
in truth.
Yeah.
It's
damaging.
horrible.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's like it's horrific, but like in a very depressing. Like it just sucked the life out of me, and I was like, I can't ever do this again.
All right,
Right.
so we'll do that next time.
Right.
Yeah.
Tune in April when we do
Yeah.
The Elephant Man.
Exactly.
Yeah, we're all numb here now. So fucking throw anything
I'm happy
at
you
me.
brought up Martyrs because we're going to talk about that again tonight. But going from there,
Lucas, this was, I guess,
this.
this was incepted because you were so passionate about
Yeah,
this movie.
this is your fault.
This
Yeah,
is my
this is your
fault.
fault.
This is my
You
fault.
were so passionate about this movie, and I had taken the liberty of saying, all right, I'll figure out what we do for the first bonus episode, and I was like, you know what? Let's fucking call Liam and let's talk about a Serbian film.
Okay, so I think this goes back all the way, not all the way back,
All the
but
way back.
all the way back to when you loaned me Inside,
Okay. Yeah.
okay.
and so I learned about myself that I like extreme cinema,
Hell yeah.
and.
Yeah, look at it. He knows. He knows.
I was like, and so like even when we found out that Martyrs Inside and High Tension were going to be on, what Shudder got them?
Yeah.
I jumped on that immediately,
Right.
like the day it came out, and I did the same thing with this movie.
So
All I had heard about, like as we were talking about these extreme movies, was well, there's the one.
right.
And I was like, and also, Liam, whenever they talked about a Serbian film, I thought it was a generic term. I didn't know
all
it was
movies
a
from
single- all
Serbia.
movies from Serbia.
They only
were
made
snuff
one.
films, and they only needed to make one. And I hope they only ever make one.
So you basically Hellraisered it with this movie. You were like,
Yeah.
I need the real shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Give me the heavy shit now. And they're like, are you sure you can handle this? You're like, I can handle it.
Yeah, but
and
then
you're
you-
like, I can't handle it.
That's what it was. That's what this movie was. Was like
It was your little puzzle box.
was thinking that I could handle super crack, and then I exploded.
Well,
Emotionally.
it's pretty weird because like I had we'll get into this, but like this movie has so much hype that I was quite positive that I had watched this movie, and then as I was watching, I was like, I've never seen this. I've literally made up in my head that I had seen this movie.
That's
because
crazy.
I had heard so much about it and had read
amazed.
so much about it.
You haven't seen this.
I had never seen it.
Amazed. That amazes me.
I had never seen it. I think I had seen one part.
Sure.
Excuse me, two parts. I'd seen like two clips.
I can.
Yeah.
Let me guess.
Yeah. Oh, which
Watch this shit.
But no, I'd never seen the fucking movie. I couldn't
Yeah.
believe it. As I started, I was like, God damn it!
Yeah.
I've been saying that I've
mean,
seen this movie
I get
4
it.
years now.
This came out. This
Me
came out in
too.
2010. And
That
I
happened to you
remember-
too?
I did the same thing because I'm a lot younger than you guys, but like
Well,
There's so many-
calm the fuck down. You're not that much younger. Christ almighty. We're not that old.
I don't know, Liam.
you're not.
Who did 9/11?
Curtis.
I'm not too sure. I was 6 months old.
Yeah, Mr. You're the 40-year-old, right? Who did it? Curtis.
He did.
I was looking for acknowledgement that he knew it was there. That was all I was looking for.
But yeah, I've seen so many like videos and stuff on it, like people detailing the plot and like the content and what happens and discussing it over and over and over again.
Serbian film,
so
not
on and
9/11.
so on throughout the pop culture zeitgeist. Yeah.
Okay, all right.
That I just like had convinced myself at a point in time after I had watched Cannibal Holocaust and like all these other things. I was like, I've seen it. But it wasn't until I pressed play that I was like, I've never actually pressed play on this before.
Yeah, when the opening moment started and like you started learning about the family, I was like, no, no, definitely haven't seen this fucking
right.
thing. Blew my mind.
That's a good lead up to this because that is a certain, especially with hardcore extreme cinema like this, that's a certain thing that happens in the internet age, especially. I mean, before that, it was, you see something in a town and someone writes it up or whatever. But now on the internet, like this is popular on Ain't It Cool? Like this is a big thing then. I was like, holy shit, this fucking thing came out at this. It didn't play Sitges, but it plays, a backwooded festival somewhere, and someone's talking about it.
What was the word you
Did you
said?
say Sitges?
Sitges.
Oh,
Sitges. I realize it sounds funny because
You're saying that.
It's a place.
I feel like
Are
you're
you
saying that
punking
wrong.
me? What are you saying?
Sitges. Liam, help me. Sitges.
I don't know what's being said. I'm hearing singes, I'm hearing stitches. I don't know what's
And I
happening.
keep hearing sitges.
What sitches?
What the fuck?
S-I-T-G-E-S.
You're saying 8 consonants in a row.
Sidges.
Y'all are gonna be. Y'all are
It
gonna.
sounds, it's familiar.
That's Serbian, man. It's Sergeant Spizaktovic. It's only consonants.
Talking about a place in Serbia?
Wait, you're talking
No.
about a guy's name?
No.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Is it a time?
You calm down.
It's not a place. It's not a person. Is it a time?
Sitges, town in Spain. There's a film festival there. It's really popular.
You fools! You are all fools! A Serbian film very notoriously did play at the Sitges Film Festival in October of 2010 in 3 adults-only nighttime slots. In a point that our brilliant friend Liam brings up a bit later in this discussion, the festival's director, Angel Sala, was brought up on charges of child pornography by Barcelona public prosecutors, sparking a groundswell of support for Sala in his ability to show the film, which had already played other genre festivals, including Fantastic Fest in Austin. I don't think we ever clearly connect the dots between that festival and this event, so here you are. Curtis, you could not have picked a worse festival to use for an example if you tried. As for the rest of you, deep shame.
Christ almighty. Doubting me.
Wait,
No, we didn't doubt. We didn't know.
Wait, I didn't see.
I didn't know what to doubt. You started speaking in tongues. I don't know what you're saying. Sitches.
That's sitches.
That's what it is.
Yeah, listeners, if Curtis is like, it's very well known. But if you had 4 people all go, I don't fucking know, dude.
Sitges is a
Someone's
town in Spain.
Why,
Someone's got me. Charles, you know what Sitges is.
yeah, Charles is probably like, these fucking dumbasses. Obviously, he said Sitges.
Jesus.
It's a little west of Barcelona on the coast.
So that's an esteemed. Believe it or not, that's an esteemed film festival.
So it went
Is
to
it
it went to
pronounced
this
CJ?
place.
No,
Is
it did not.
maybe
Oh, it
pronounced
didn't.
I don't
Then why the
believe so.
fuck are you talking
It's an
about?
esteemed film festival. People know what this is.
But what does it have to do with the Serbian film?
If you'd
It
let me
played
finish
there.
my
He just said it didn't.
Fucking
Oh,
thought.
it didn't play there?
Liam's about to watch this podcast just fall apart. I'm gonna quit right now.
No, I knew what I was coming in for. So people were asking me, they're like, "Are you prepared to like talk like about like something on this pod?" And I was like, "It's not a big deal." 4 weeks ago, they were arguing about if they could drink water out of the back of a toilet or not. Like, I don't. They were yelling at each other. The fuck? I'm not taking this too seriously.
I'm so glad we disarmed you.
Yeah, we did. I believe that.
What did we?
You don't
what,
remember?
What was the?
No, we can't bring it up
Consensus.
because if I say it, then we're gonna go right back into it. You two are gonna be like, "Yeah, that's fine." I'm like, "No, it's fucking
Oh, wait, no, I do
disgusting."
remember. It's not that bad.
That is, wait, we're not doing this.
That's the clean part.
See.
All right, well, okay. So back to your point that doesn't have a point about Sitges.
I like that we disarmed Liam. He's like, "No, these guys yell at each other about toilets." I'm fine to walk into this. It's not exactly a lion's den of intellect.
Hold on, it is though. That's the spectrum. Clean toilet water at Sitges Film Festival. Class, culture, cool stuff.
That's
All
in
right.
a Patreon tier. We send you
Yeah.
to
not
Sitges to
Please.
drink the toilet water,
I would love that.
but we pay for it only. We reimburse only after you get there and film it.
I'm cool with that.
Okay.
I'm cool with
All
that.
He knows.
Sounds great.
All right.
About
People of
this film.
Sitges were talking.
And that's what's really interesting about movies like this is that this word gets out there. And so for so long, you're like, I know what this is because you feel like you've seen it because people are talking about it.
Oh,
It's become
that
so
was your point.
infamous.
It makes sense.
You could have said "can." We wouldn't have
You
had this
could have.
conversation.
You could have just said a film festival.
I wanted to be an E-Lord about it, all right?
Dance.
Guess what? This is the E-Lord episode.
This is the E-Lordiest E-Lord episode of all E-Lords.
So there we are.
That's true. That's true.
And that's just like that's the vibe of this thing is you feel like you've seen it and then by the time you get to it we'll see what we all thought about our experiences watching it. Maybe it lives up to that hype, maybe it doesn't, you know.
The fact that between everyone here, this movie has every star rating is incredible.
I wish I had put mine down because it would have been a different star rating than
ours. I know.
Yeah.
We were the whole. But there's 5 of us, and there are 5-star
No,
ratings.
I just assume it's 2.5 when you or when I just assume with you if there isn't stars, it's just assume.
Well, for this I didn't put a star rating down because I wanted to have some mystique behind
Yeah,
it.
Oh,
I
okay.
planned to do that, but
He
I couldn't
does
help
that.
myself.
He does
Okay,
that.
thank you.
If
Thank you,
it's
Liam.
something that he's covering on Shudcast, it's just like vague, nothing, no star, no like. Oh, I'll talk about it on Shudcast.
Oh,
It sounds. Guess
thank you
what?
for saying it like that.
It sounds just like that. It sounds just like that when I type it too.
Well, if anyone signed up to this Patreon to hear that because of that, great. That's $5.
all right, let's get into this
Lucas,
fucking movie.
while we're talking star ratings,
Yeah.
and to usher us into this movie, Lucas, I was shocked to see you gave this movie 5 stars.
Yeah.
Were you?
Really?
Yes.
You were shocked.
He's
Is
been
that the right
bitching
word?
about it for weeks. Like
but he-
it's horrifying. It's terrible. Don't
Oh.
never watch this.
When he brought it up on the show, he was like 5-star thing.
review.
I don't listen to him.
Okay.
Like it's 5. Like his review is 5 stars, but it says don't ever watch this ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So success.
like-
Yeah. We'll get into it after we shut this down.
Oh, fair enough.
That's fair.
Oh yeah, we got to shut down.
Liam, do you know what this means? Do you have any idea
Do you
what
know
this
what we
means?
do to guests?
I'm aware. Yes.
Do you know what we do to guests?
Yeah. Look, Jordan Belfi, David Bruckner, Liam. I'll bleep your last name if you like.
It's Tennant. I don't care. I'll be out
You're
there.
up there with them right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're about to enter into Shudcast Hall of Fame.
And they were
You're about to do it.
garbage
You're about. Yeah.
with
They-
their own movie.
They
Yeah.
were really bad.
It was a really hard movie to shut down. Though.
No, it was one of the worst movies you could ever have.
Do
to
6
shut down.
movies now.
Figure it out. You got a minute. Go, bitch.
Yeah.
Liam, do you want to do it?
The shutdown
Yes.
by myself
Yeah.
right
Yes.
here on the spot.
Yeah.
That is
You
that
could
is-
say no.
that is an option. We have other
know what?
options.
You know what?
You have a
I
15-page
got this.
paper next
I got
to you.
this.
that-
He's
Yeah,
got
you got
this.
this.
Okay.
He's got this.
All right.
I believe him.
All right, I'm gonna crank
Hold
this.
on, I'll put my Sitges page away.
I'm gonna crank this. You know the drill. You listen to the show. You're gonna hear the music. You got your little theme cues. I'm gonna crank it so you can hear it. And here we go in 3, 2.
All right, so we start off with a kid watching a porno tape of his dad that he had pulled out because he was meeting a ex-coworker. The porn star name is Milos. He's meeting his ex-coworker at lunch to discuss working on a new art house film with someone named Vukmir. He goes to meet Vukmir, and Vukmir is very, very vague, but promises him a shit ton of money. So he's like, you know what? Yeah, screw it. I'm in. So shows us up the first set. It's in an orphanage. We see a minor, we see a mom, stuff gets weird. He doesn't like what he does, goes home. He's like, I have some weird stuff about this. Goes back to see Vukmir, and it's like, I don't want to do this at all. There's some baby stuff. He quits. He gets drugged. He does a bunch of violent stuff. This is really stressful. This is crazy. And then, wait. What was that? Was that keep going?
Yeah. You got 10
Shit.
seconds.
So, fuck. A bunch of bad stuff happens. People get no-noed, and then they get shot, and then they get no-noed after being shot. You know what? You're listening loud.
man.
The way
Well
you ended
fucking
that,
done.
the way you were like, fuck this. No, they get no, and then no,
get
end
no,
shot.
I love no node.
That was fantastic.
That was fantastic.
Excellent fucking
Well
work.
done.
Liam.
Really? You
Thank
got you like retained all the fucking names and like and
Yes. Names
Yeah.
names were out the door for me immediately.
Immediately, at first I was like, okay, is he going to make the mistake that I always make, where like you start immediately just giving too much plot in the beginning when you have it first, right?
Yeah.
And then you
And,
find
like,
yourself
and
having to catch up. Then I was thinking, I was like, oh no, I get it. He's gonna get all the meat out of the way in the first 2, and then the last 2 are just gonna be like fucking
Yeah.
I mean-
newborn porn.
I mean, that is how the movie is.
No
Kinda.
node the baby boy.
Baby boy.
Moved on.
No,
Almighty. Okay, Liam.
Oh no.
For this, was this the first time you've seen this?
Actually, yes, it was. It's a funny story how it all went down between me and you, but yes, it was the first time.
Now I have to know
If
the
I had
funny
a nickel.
story.
So go ahead.
What were you gonna say?
I was just going to kick it off between you and Lucas here.
I
so
want him.
you to
I want him to tell us the story.
go for it.
So the story, at least from my perspective, is Lucas posted a 5-star review and said, "Don't ever watch this." To which I liked the review and commented, "Challenge accepted," like a fucking dumbass. And so
I meant what I said, Liam.
I mean, you can't be mad at him. He did say don't watch it.
you know what? I wasn't. Yeah. So I get. Oh God! I got a message from the Shudcast Instagram a day later. This is the greatest part of the story.
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah.
I forgot about this.
No context. No instructions.
Yes.
Just a phone number.
We were
And I
right
liked
here
it.
doing that.
We were here, yeah. we discussed. So on our end, we discussed it, and I pulled up the thing, and I was like, "I'm just gonna give them your number."
Well, because I could
not say
just send in my phone number, and that's literally all they sent. I didn't know that it wasn't gonna come with.
It was just a phone number.
yeah, I thought
And
it'd be
I was
funnier.
Yeah.
So, am I supposed to? You're giving me consent to contact this person via text and use this phone number personally? You would send it to me, correct?
That's very kind of you.
Yeah.
No response. Just a like, just a heart.
Really?
Yeah, I guess.
I was like,
Fucking.
all right. And then it was like, hey, this is Liam. Who is this? And I was like, it's Cody. We're doing an episode. And I was like, I would love to do an episode for the Patreon. Hell yeah, what are we doing? And he was like, we're doing a Serbian film. And I was like, I already agreed and I accepted the challenge. And I keep digging myself deeper. I just, I could have just not, but
Look how much fun we're having.
Yeah.
So,
The message I received from Liam said, I was very cryptically given this phone number with no explanation whatsoever. Am I to assume this is related to the Shudcast and company in some way?
Do you have,
My man!
Do you have your phone?
Yeah.
Because then
very
you can pull
brilliant.
up the Shudcast messages, so we can show you what we sent to Liam.
I just heard it. It was a phone number.
that's
I know,
very
you get to
respectful.
see it if you would like.
Because if Lucas just got a phone number, he'd be sending an asshole pic.
Yeah, I have protocol for that.
yeah.
Right on.
Lucas
I have
does
protocol for that.
Lucas does that.
Gotta follow proto. Just checking this was meant for me and I am intended and allowed to contact it, correct? And then just a heart.
That's a yes.
Man, that
No,
was
that's great.
We
Was that,
metagamed into a horror movie right
that
now.
was affirmative.
dude, that was in fucking November?
Wait, what?
yeah, it's
Oh,
been a
yeah,
while.
sure. That makes sense.
God damn.
That makes
Yeah, I've been
sense.
sitting on this bitch for a while.
Man, I feel like it wasn't that long ago.
Yeah, well,
November
Time's all
wasn't
fucked
that
up.
long
it
ago.
took us a year to release our Patreon.
This is
That
true.
is true.
It took us like 8 months to actually release an episode of the show.
Yeah, that was on purpose. That
yeah,
was
it
by
was.
design.
Yeah, it was.
All right.
Alrighty
So
then.
we're into the film. So this is the first time you watched this for this. Lucas, first time you watched this was
Yeah.
because it was available.
Yes.
You were home.
Because notably, it hadn't been available readily for me to watch. Granted, I don't think I was ever being like, I'm going to try and watch this now, but it wasn't like the most easiest accessible thing to find.
Always on
Yeah.
YouTube.
YouTube. I know,
Yeah.
but
On
then
YouTube?
then you're
'cause
getting
For free, or you get to pay?
Always on YouTube for free.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, I never.
No one's
sought
no
this
one's
out.
monitoring the copyright control for
No.
a Serbian film
No.
on YouTube.
No.
for many, many years, I was very much, and I am to an extent, very much like, fuck those pirators. Right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
It depends. Case by case basis.
Well, yes, but if in the case of certain films where there's no other way to watch it,
Yes.
what am I supposed to do?
Valid.
Valid.
Yeah.
I would have never had that opinion about the Serbian film. However, I just never sought it out because I didn't have a good way to find it because I was also very resourceful, I guess.
Because I live by the tenet, if you sit there long enough, people will just start giving you things. And so that's why I just needed Serbian film.
Yeah.
Just be in.
That's your life mantra.
All right.
Tenet.
That's why he goes. That's why he goes to the Apple Store every day. Just sits there.
Start giving you shit. Liam, you have so graciously written up a handful of thoughts. I would like you to, if you're okay with it, just kind of take us off with your intro
Yeah.
to a Serbian film.
Yeah, take us on a journey, Liam. Take us and the listeners on a journey.
I went on a journey. It's not a nice journey. It's not a good journey. Nothing here is happy.
Some people think it's happy.
No, I'm glad because if it was super, like, if you were like stoked, I'd be bummed. I'd be nervous if you were too jolly about this. So that's good.
I did a lot of research because I was just very curious because there's a lot of different ways you can interpret this film. There's a lot of, especially as Americans living within America. And with the background that it's had for the past almost 15 years, there's a lot of things that have been said about it. Most of them are negative. I believe Lucas is part of the 1,000 people on Letterboxd to have a 5-star review of a Serbian film against the like 10,000 on the
Some
complete
would
opposite
say
end.
elite.
That's okay. The elite few who love a Serbian
Who
film.
can see art through crap.
I feel like that's just Lucas and fascists.
Well, you're
Thank
not
you for
far
separating
off.
me.
You're not wrong. I did a deep dive on the 5-star reviews on Letterboxd. Well, I looked through everything from 3-star to 5-star, and kind of did a sort. And we're just kind of looking through people's thoughts and opinions. And I noticed some interesting things. A lot of the 5-star and higher rated reviews on this site are from people who are from Croatia, Serbia, that area, Eastern European. It seemed that, and I would put their reviews and stuff through Google Translate, or they were gracious enough to put it through in English. And they were a bit cryptic on some of the things that they were saying. I couldn't really get a feel for why specifically everyone in Serbia loved A Serbian Film, other than it being like the national film now, just by title alone, which is a bit unfortunate. So I had to do some research into what a Serbian film is, and oh boy, is it a satire. Believe it or not, it's intended to be a comedy of sorts, interestingly.
Sick.
as was like Texas Chainsaw was
the first
to be.
one.
Well, you know what's funny
shit.
what's funny about that is I knew that you got us on this, Liam, so I did very cursory research on it. But I think you could tell at the outset what they're going for. I think that that our main homie Milos meeting up with the porn star in broad daylight and the nature of his brother and their whole kind of discussion they have sets up this like sort of satirical thing where they're talking about, well, you can only make real art. This is you're just shooting porn. Like, I get it. You know, from the outset, I'm understanding where they're trying to go with it. And then the film continues.
Because I rented this as a disc, a physical unit. It was region coded. But
Yeah, but not a problem for you, buddy.
but what,
not a problem for
Cody?
me anymore. And it had a director's intro
Okay.
where he talked about the film. And
Hold for a name.
Yeah. Good luck saying
yeah,
this.
get that.
Sergeant Spazashevich.
He's got it.
Sergeant Zashevich.
There
And the
you go.
writer is Alexander Radivojevic. There we go. Radivojevic.
Just Radu, Eastern European name. Sorry,
Radu.
Eastern Europeans. Radu. Yeah. Fingers first. But it was really interesting because he. First of all, I thought it was hilarious that like this intro happens and he immediately starts like justifying the film by explaining its metaphor, right?
Yeah, he better be on his heels every time. Like, look. But that's how you should enter every room. Okay, listen.
But
listen.
It's bizarre because like he in the middle of him talking goes, "Excuse me, while I take a sip of this iced tea," and then it's like a whiskey glass with iced tea in it, and he's like, "That we used on camera as whiskey," and then he takes a sip of it, puts it back down, and continues talking about the metaphor.
European people are so funny. I know that's the funniest thing I've ever heard of. Honestly, there's something so good about.
He starts talking about how like it's a.
You know what?
It's there you go.
Hell yeah. It was tea, Lucas. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it is. It's a gallon of sweet tea from a local place.
Oh hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
But
Sweet tea.
he starts talking about how like this is a metaphor for like how humans are experiencing life now in Serbia. But then he talked about it like he said, but it applies to the world at large too, and it isn't just about Serbia. It is about humans, and it was very interesting. But
Well, okay.
seek it out on YouTube. I'm sure it exists. Or well, maybe I
Yeah,
don't know.
probably.
Maybe someone didn't
I-
take the time to cut that out.
I, for some reason, was putting my read on this movie as it was happening, especially with the pivotal moment of the movie that basically asks you as an audience member, are you fucking in or are you out? And that is the newborn porn scene. Which, interestingly, is the only English that they say in
Right.
the movie is newborn porn.
Right.
It's the only English phrase that's said.
That's just not going to translate well.
I mean, it rhymes.
You got that rhyming sort of alliterative thing.
And that, like, oh, you're doing an extreme version of saying beautiful thing. You're going to fuck something up the moment it comes in. Mm-hmm. Like, that's what that scene is trying to say, but you're doing it in a horrific, extreme, awful way. And that's what I was taking away from this movie. And on top of the great fucking music.
I knew it.
Sound?
The second this music started, I was like, Lucas is listening to this right now. And I thought it was kind of cool too, but I was like, this is a Lucas soundtrack.
The music, the sound design, the everything about the technical parts of this movie it's a great movie. It's a technically well-crafted movie.
It looks good.
Yeah. And it's weird that it's got like and that's why this movie it almost like needs this, because if you're going to be this extreme,
Did you just Google newborn porn?
Yeah, it's
Google Translate.
Okay.
Sorry, Lucas.
It's still
Why would you Google that? Cody?
Yeah,
Decisions.
you Google now.
Decisions.
This is the work phone too. Porn's the same. Porn's a universal language.
I don't think anything this movie's trying to say happens if you do it any cheaper, if you do it any lesser or less artistic.
Well, here's the interesting thing about
I think
that.
it looks like shit.
I think it looks like hot garbage.
It looks so.
But this is 2010. This
I know.
is
I'm not
Eastern
going to shit
Europe.
on it.
It act like it's well fucking made. I was actually I do agree with you there.
It
It's
is well
fucking
made.
made.
I also agree. It is well made.
I'm not going to hold it by like whatever technology they had to shoot this on at the time.
Look, you had DV, fine.
Yeah, but it's such an interesting point in time for cinema because Martyrs came out 3 years prior to this.
Before this?
Yes,
Interesting. When, what country? It's French.
2 years before this.
French?
Yes.
France.
Okay. French.
And I think that is one of the best movies ever made. But that movie is like it's pristine.
Yes.
Right? Like that
Yeah.
movie's like I think it hits every single goal it sets for itself.
I
That's
agree.
expanding the conversation a little bit. But technically even, I don't know that I feel like they probably shot that on film, but they might not have.
I don't think they shot it on film.
The technical wherewithal on Martyrs, I think, is so locked in.
I agree.
Whereas on this,
This looks digital.
yeah,
It
and
looks
like,
early digital.
I could almost buy it if you were
Yeah.
trying to tell me that that's what this porn looks like. But like, they don't
like
shoot it in the way like there's clearly a color grade on a lot of these things. That
Some
just
of the
looks
shots don't look color graded. Like some of the shots, I'm like, is this log?
well, they just put two different filters
just
on.
gray.
Yeah. So. Just like that's. I just want to compare the like two sort of extreme. Well, this is the same wave-ish of New French Extremity coming out at the time. Like it's not clearly in that group, but it is. You Google New French Extremity and this movie
Shows
pops up.
Yeah, there's
You
because
know?
now that it's like because the concept kind of just it quickly bleeded out into everywhere. I feel like
Yeah.
then you always get that one film nerd that's like, no,
Right.
No.
Which like, yeah, obviously we get it, dude.
no, only the ones from France.
But that's kind of the interesting landscape that this comes out in, and
Yeah.
does leave me, Liam. I'm curious as to what you think about it. Leaves me a little bit torn. Whereas like I see the metaphor, I get it. I'm watching it. Don't think it's really as well executed as it thinks it is, but it's pretty well made. What are your thoughts?
For what it is, it's pretty well made. As someone who's seen, like, I watched a movie recently, a Japanese film called Grotesque. Like,
Dude, I have a colleague that has been asking me to watch that movie.
let me just.
I'm not even fucking around. Like when I first met the man. Oh no, actually, this is topical. I first met this person. He's like, I hear that you like horror movies. And I was like, yes, this is true.
that guy.
I love horror movies. He goes, have you seen a Serbian film? That was the first thing he said, and I was like, wow.
I think you told
He's
me
testing the waters. You gotta
Yeah.
know where you are.
Okay, he's like, you should watch this movie called Grotesque.
Yeah.
And I went, oh, okay, yeah, I think I will. And he goes, it's not a good time. And I was like, yeah, you started with a Serbian film, so I don't
To
think.
quote a line from Grotesque, first things first, I'm going to hammer these nails into your testicles. Where do we go from there? That's first.
I know. Even Method Man put that third in his roundup of torture.
Why do you start with that?
Yeah, that's a high bar. It's a really fucking high bar.
Okay, so you saw Grotesque, and Grotesque is
Japanese, looks like dog trash. I've seen like a couple of the American Guinea Pig films. I went on these kind of kicks
rough.
where I was playing around with the extremer stuff.
Yeah.
They just don't. They don't look good.
No,
you're there to watch the red stuff come out of people.
Yeah.
What the purpose of those are for sure.
and like weird. Like it feels like just this bizarre version of guerrilla filmmaking. Have you guys watched any of like the Lucifer Valentine stuff? Like Slaughter Vomit Dolls?
No.
Yeah. It's yeah.
Cody, you're pranking me. Have you seen the Lucifer Valentine stuff? Like Slaughter Vomit Dolls? What did you just say?
I will not be back
exactly what
for
you
that
just
episode.
said. Exactly what you just said.
This is lies. I don't buy this.
Go Google
I'm
it.
being punked. Where's the camera?
Before each episode, he does like a movie name generator thing.
Yeah.
that's hilarious.
No, you wait.
I believe you.
You guys have never heard of these?
No,
Really?
no.
Lucifer Valentine.
what?
Well, at least
You know
Liam's with me on this.
I bet you are all much happier as people.
Yeah, Liam and I are still broken inside. We're holding on to that one little sliver of life that's left.
I mean, that's delightful. But yeah,
Yeah.
like that's it's the thing that leaves me kind of on the fence and feeling weird about this film. It's like it's not like shot by your homie next door who's like, let's go to my garage. I'm going to fucking decapitate something. And you're questioning if it's real or not, which almost is effective in its own right. But it doesn't look enough like shit to like be like, that's fucking garbage.
Oh, you mean
right?
so it's you're saying that like it hits this like underwhelming gray area between the two or middle between the two, like like an actually
That's fair.
well shot film.
It
And
looks like a
shit.
Craig Zoller film,
Yeah.
TBH.
Well,
Dude, it does look like a Craig Zoller film.
I think maybe I'm giving it some like leeway because of like what the movie is, and I'm thinking that.
God, I was really hoping you were going to say because of what the movie's about.
Well, I mean that's part of it. Like, I was expecting to watch a shitty movie with as extreme as this movie was supposed to be. That kind of just gets associated with this movie's going to be shot like pretty amateur hours.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, same.
And so I guess I was just caught off guard with like, this is not bad. It wasn't offensive.
Yeah.
In my eyes. You know what movie was offensive that I just watched?
What?
That was fucking Suitable Flesh.
Oh,
yeah, baby.
I know I'm gonna anger.
Sexy
I'm gonna anger
sack.
this table right now.
Oh, no.
With saying that, I did not like the way that movie looked like a straight to TV Hallmark.
It was on
movie.
purpose. It's great.
Yeah.
That's on purpose.
Yes, absolutely. Joe Dante did, or not Joe. Joe Lynch did that because he was He's basically trying to take like the erotic thrillers of the late '80s and early '90s and mix it with H.P. Lovecraft.
Yeah, that sexy sax was
So it's all
earnest.
very it's all done like with complete intent and knowing what they're doing.
Well, there was no cohesion between the story and the look in my.
I can see why you felt
Fair.
that way.
Without, I guess if you'd have to know that going into it.
Well, Liam, have you seen this movie?
No,
Okay, then
but
we're
that
not-
explains
sorry,
what the
we're not gonna-
sexy
we'll
sax
talk about
thing
it.
in the Discord was about.
Yes.
I was confused as fuck. It was just two ladies on a couch and someone responding with sexy sax. Give me that sexy sax.
Yeah, it's funny. Right
I had to
after I
Google
sent that, I wondered if that was exactly what was going to happen to people that in the Discord that have no idea what this movie is.
I didn't know either. I haven't seen the movie.
It is on Shutter now.
It is.
So, yeah.
I ignore these guys a lot.
But back to the Serbian film
topic.
cast. Liam, take us more on your journey.
The biggest problem that this film has is that as far as the director talks too much
Yeah, he does.
in his intros and his interviews. He doesn't, after doing a shit ton of research, he does not explain exactly what the film is, what he wanted it to be. Well, but you know who does? The writer, Alexander Radovojevic, who started brainstorming snippets of the story, like just bits and pieces of it, certain scenes in the late 90s. Are any of you familiar with the Yugoslavian wars?
I did some reading on it for this.
Yes.
But for those of us who don't,
we are obviously well versed and well read, but there might be some listeners and we don't want them to feel bad. So I'll pretend. No, Liam, tell me about the Yugoslavian War.
We do not drink toilet water.
I mean, I don't because I'm a fucking disgusting pig.
The two of us who would drink out of the back of the toilet know exactly what the Yugoslavian
I
wars
put
were.
fucking bleach in that part to get rid of the black mold, and you're gonna fucking fill your teacups with it, you monsters. Anyway, we're not here to talk about toilet water.
Although, fun fact, I will
That's a
say,
shirt.
it was originally a Serbian film was titled, its working title was Orgasmatron.
Yo, of
course.
Dude, that's
course
so
it
much
was.
better.
I don't know. I think the
I'm
best
way
thing
more
about this
into
movie is its title. But anyway, Liam, continue. Yugoslav.
Yeah, so basically what ends up happening is while the director and the writer are in their separate respective film schools, there is a war between 1991 and 2001 happening in Yugoslavia between a whole bunch of different factions. Post-World War II, government's broken up, a bunch of communist stuff, everything's going crazy. And a part of that was the Serbian military handed out orders for a mass ethnic cleansing of all of the Muslim people. And during this time of war, and basically they're trying to recreate the Holocaust. During this time, the economy is shot, destroyed. And something that the writer had noticed, which is where the story of Milos comes from, is that the most successful thing that was selling and making money in the country at this time was porn. It was the biggest exports of the time were war footage, because this was the 90s, we had cameras and stuff, and porn. And he took the story to what?
regular porn,
I mean, that's a fair qualifier. Just like porn.
No.
just porn in general, or like
Specifically, there was a lot of like hardcore, like the roughy, kinky stuff that started coming out around this time.
because is that what they were alluding to when he's going in that scene where he's kind of going through those tapes and like there's horse stuff and
so that was inspired by the story of a guy named Rocco Siffredi.
I'm aware. I'm aware. He's still working, to my knowledge.
Yeah.
Yeah. So to quote Alexander's opinion on this guy, so Siffredi had been cranking out VHS tapes depicting himself in brutal sex acts on location with local girls in different parts of Europe, all of which had an uncomfortable undertone of colonialism. And then in one particular scene that like really like got to him, that stayed in his mind, was him having sex with a girl in a car, while in the background you can see the forest of which a group of grizzled homeless people suddenly start to emerge. At which point Siffredi, who is now done with the girl, returns her to the downtrodden locals, handing her over to them in a what he referred to as a sort of modern day Marquis de Sade, as if to say, here you go, I finished what I need to do, she's all yours. And so by making the main character in that original synopsis an aging porn star, he began to incorporate this notion of like modern day colonialism via sexual exploitation of a poor country's human resource.
Did you say the homeless people came out of the forest?
Yes.
That's the scariest thing I can imagine.
Have you guys ever been attacked by a homeless person?
Attacked?
Almost.
No.
just the other day. I was driving. And I've been driving a
Was
truck.
this after you fought the fifth graders?
We're working up to that, Liam. I was driving a truck. I had a cooler in the bed of my truck. I was driving home from D&D, and this homeless guy just reaches into my trunk and flips open my cooler.
Holy shit.
Really?
Yeah, and walks off.
Was that
the
stuff
most
in your cooler?
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't take anything?
I had cooked dinner for my D&D party that night, so I had all these like supplies and leftover food in there. So,
so no beers or anything?
No.
Oh, he wanted a beer.
I mean, maybe,
Yeah.
but he flipped it open and kept walking. I was accosted.
Yeah. Are
Sure.
you okay?
Didn't like it.
Sure.
That was the closest to being attacked by a homeless person that I've ever.
Do you have a being
unhoused person? Excuse me.
Yeah.
Well, me and Ryan were kids. We were
What'd you do?
we were skateboarding. Like I think it was it was like night. We skated from his house to like the Habit or something, just to get food. We walked back as we're going back. There was like this. It's an underpass under the freeway under the 101. but it's just
The scariest thing ever. I know what you're talking about.
But it's just a walk. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about,
That's
right? It's just
the
a walkway,
scariest
right?
walkway? Yeah.
There's no. It's only foot traffic.
Isn't that like Mike Flanagan's first film? Is like
Yes,
that?
yes,
It's that
exactly.
thing?
Yes. I remember thinking that when so me and Ryan are walking down there, and like in one of these things, there's like a hole, right, where like a manhole cover, right, and as we're walking, suddenly we just hear, and
Guys,
there is a person.
I wish I could describe to you how scary this place that they were was. What he just described is the scariest thing that's ever happened. Oh my God. My heart would stop.
Oh, me and Ryan screamed and just ran, right?
I would have died. I would have actually died.
And I don't know, like, if I did this to myself by watching Mulholland Drive so many times, or or if that's actually what it looked like.
Yeah.
The human, the person, what the person looked like.
Well, to your knowledge,
I literally,
Who
dude,
knows?
my memory is just like a version of that.
that's the scariest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, it was awful.
Oh, I wish I could describe to you three. Have you seen this thing? The terrifying hallway.
Where?
It's under the 101.
It goes under a freeway.
This is so interesting for Liam.
It's just a long.
I listen to this on a regular basis.
This is true.
It is a long concrete hallway lit by one terrifying, skinny fluorescent light.
Under the 101 in Woodland Hills, like you'd be
I've
crossing
never
from
been
like
there.
Avenue San Luis
Okay.
to like under like near Shoop.
Okay.
It's the scariest thing
Dumps you out on Ventura Boulevard.
you could imagine.
Okay. That's where this happened?
Yes.
Yeah, fuck that.
Yeah.
Fuck all that.
Yes.
I know that area too. That is you would not think there is that many homeless people walking around there.
But in that thing, for sure, it's the
Yeah,
scariest
because
thing.
it's like the scene from like Let Me In.
Look up Mike Flanagan's first movie.
Absentia?
Yes.
That
Yeah.
in there?
It's, it's
That-
like
that-
that.
He
that-
doesn't have to. He's a fucking
in
Curtis.
Fucking in
it's
there.
in there.
Yeah.
His brain.
So colonialism
Colonialism
and scary.
and porn involving a Marquis de Sade with innocent.
Liam, keep
innocent
talking. You're
woman.
making my 5-star review better and better right now.
That is it. That is
So-
definitely interesting. It's definitely interesting.
So, in this 10-year span, there are hundreds of thousands of people who are killed, ton of porn gets sold, whole world shifts, government basically collapses. In the early 2000s, between the war ending and these two graduating college and them actually making a Serbian film, they tried to get this thing off the ground multiple times. But the problem was there was a very specific kind of film that was being sold. What did you say?
Just keep on walking.
So there was a very specific kind of film that was being sold, which is essentially what this film is a satire of, and they refer to it as misery porn or victim porn. All of the films that came out during this time between like 2001 and 2009, a Serbian film like disrupted it, shattered it completely, fucked it up. It's not really a thing anymore. But in this time period, there are basically these stories that were being told that were, a lot of them were adapted from a specific author. I'm not going to flip through all these and try to find her name, but they basically refer to her as like the Serbian Jane Austen. So she writes all these like really old stories about like living between the world wars, and there's a lot of like nationalist themes, like what it means to be a Serbian, patriotism. It's a lot about like poor people down on their luck. War happens, the government comes in, someone, a benefactor, a husband, a boss, offers you a job, changes your life, gives you a lot of money, and then there's a happy ending. But the whole film shows like the suffering of being a poor person and like, oh, woe is me, I live in Serbia. It's basically what this whole thing was. And they'd make these like depressing movies about being poor and living in Serbia and woe is me. But like, oh, but the government came in. It was also partially propaganda. People came in, they made my life better, and it was huzzah. And these movies made a lot of money because they would send them to America and to Western Europe, and the foreign art house scene would eat them up because they were like, yes, we love miserable people and slow movies about nothing. Give us more of this.
Festivals and award circuits would pick this shit up, and these things would win awards. Like that was kind of the mainstreamification of
Like in
the
Sitges?
victim porn. Yes,
Yes,
guarantee
like in
you.
Sitges, actually.
guarantee you, a victim porn Serbian film played Sitges and probably won an award.
And did well. It's just
He's saying that weird though.
Yes,
That'd be a fun vacation for us. We'll go to Sitges. Hey,
Go to
yeah,
Sitges?
go.
Continue.
But yeah, so they just like these misery porn. And so the plot of these films is very much like a Serbian film. And that's where whenever the director, Mr. Edgelord, is talking about people being fucked from birth and like, oh, are you down in your luck? Life fucks you. What he's referring to is he's referring to like the plight of the modern Serbian people, especially how they are depicted through media, which is after doing a lot of research on the war and the post-war and the films that came out of the post-war, and how this is like beat for beat a remake of one of those movies, but like on crack, like hype the fuck up. It starts to make a lot of sense why a lot of the people on Letterboxd who are from Eastern Europe or who lived there for a while like this more than a lot of other audiences, because they have a whole lot of cultural context that we just do not. And I didn't have until I did an insane amount of like I had to go on websites and then Google Translate the entire page to like find this information. Like I did some heavy digging. Like this stuff is just like a lot of these interviews, especially with the writer who does most of the talking, honestly, really does a great job of like explaining where it came from. It's just like not available in English translation, just like widely around, which I think is a great detriment to the film because the director, you know, for those unaware, when it premiered in Austin in 2010, he encouraged the audience to snort a line of salt, squeeze a lime in your eye, and take a shot of tequila to understand what it feels like to be a Serbian person, which is a very edgelord thing to do with no
No, there's a name for that. Isn't there a name for that?
A name for
Serbian
what?
film.
The shot.
That
the
thing?
Serbian shot.
Is it the Serbian shot?
It's
the
a
shot.
Serbian in Texas. I don't know.
No, that's like there's a name for that.
That's really good though.
I remember early drinking. Someone was like, for some reason my brain goes, ask for a man shot or something like that. And if you ask what's a man shot, then you have to do it.
Oh, no, there was something like this.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then it's
Yes.
what he described. It's like
Yes, that's exactly what that
squirt
was.
lime in your eye, get snort salt, get slapped in the face, and do the shot.
Yeah, I never did it.
No, because I got
Smart.
told by a friend, don't ask what that is.
Smart.
Oh, I
if
asked
you-
what it was.
Oh, you didn't do it?
No,
Oh.
fuck that. I'm
Yeah,
not doing it.
your
Yeah,
resolve
because
is
of course
amazing.
not. Just say
It's insane. Yeah,
that sounds horrible. I don't want that.
Yeah, no, lick my whole asshole. I'm not doing that.
That is very interesting, and I buy it, and I
That is
get
very
it, and I
interesting.
believe it.
As do
How
I.
do we feel about the intellectualization of it in comparison to it in practice? How do we feel?
I actually, I find myself at kind of like a middle ground on this because I think that it actually is kind of a good movie. Like I think it's got like when you start contextualizing it, I think even without all the context that Liam just laid down,
Sure.
right? And just like the context that I had from the brief 2-minute intro from the director, that in itself gave enough background, like backing for me to watch the movie and be like, oh, okay,
Sure.
I see what you're doing, and I kind of respect it.
Mm-hmm.
At least there is meaning to this, right? I don't think that it is perhaps. It's certainly with the context that Liam just provided, right? It's not the greater meaning behind the film is not going to resonate with a global audience that that doesn't have all that history, right? But I did still just like when he describing it as just a base metaphor for existence. Mm-hmm. I thought that was that was compelling enough for me to find a through line that
It's a little bit universal.
Yeah.
You don't need to know the Serbian history to like understand fucked from birth.
You don't, but having said that, like with what Liam was just explaining and all that detail, that on the other hand makes the movie start to feel like a lot even like deserves more respect than perhaps people give it generally. I still think 5 stars is a lot.
That's a lot. I think what's interesting about that too is I didn't know all of that until just now. I watched the film, and through the director character in the film, I was like, that's probably what the fucking movie is. Because that guy, and like, is that good? Like, it's kind of good if you get your theme across through one character pretty clearly, and I'm not of that nation. However, it's pretty much, for me, it was like, well, that guy's really on the fucking nose.
Because, I mean, you
God.
could read him as kind of like a mad scientist in a way where he's going too far as like a mad scientist auteur director where he's just taking it too far and no one's stopping him or and that's I don't know. I think I liked that part of this movie, and then I like that this movie is this violent scream into the void of So we're fucked up. I didn't know any of that context, but I could just feel that from this movie.
Liam, what do you think on all this? Do you think it was effective?
I know for a fact I like the movie a whole lot more without the newborn part. That fucked me up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Liam, I watched this movie like this for most of the part, like covering, like watching it like one eye through. And I've never watched a movie like that before.
Me too.
Every scene that was like, I'm like, they're doing it. Oh my god, they're doing it. And I'm like, especially the last scene.
Okay,
but I'm like this.
The last scene is actually fucks me up more.
The last scene fucked me up more than newborn.
It's worse.
I think it is. I mean. It's worse because we are looking through the eyes of that character, and now we're experiencing that with that character.
Yes.
However,
we're living with that horror.
I do think this movie makes a grave error in its narrative, and if it wants to make us feel really fucking shitty for that character, I understand it's two sides of a similar coin here. It's taken the side of like you did something really fucked up when you blacked out, sort of. Very broadly, like we drugged you. Now you have to deal with the repercussions of what you did when we drugged you. However, I think it takes a little bit of the horror out of it when it's like it's already a passive act. Us realizing what's happening to him as he's remembering it, to me, isn't as effective as seeing him have to make the choice to do it.
See, I read that differently in that I thought the choice to do this like non-linear perspective was to like take it almost like softens the blow as an audience member a little bit when you have to when you think you're just in your mind you're subconsciously experiencing it secondhand because you're watching footage instead of as the movie's going. And now you're not just in it experiencing it. You don't think you're experiencing in real time even though you are. So I think I don't know. Maybe that was a choice, but for me that works a little bit.
I think so, and I don't disagree with it. I have a problem with taking the character's agency away from him. And not necessarily a problem in that I think it's achieving the mark it's setting for itself. But I think it's a more interesting and scary, fucked up thing if we have to sit with that character and watch him make a choice.
I think that, but
I agree. That is darker.
I would agree with that.
I think it'd be darker, but I also think that it kind of. I kind of appreciate that it's not though because it kind of maintains that idea of like it no matter how hard you try, it's not in your control all the time.
It's not his fault.
Yeah,
which I guess
I get it.
ties into
the
which
like I get it. Like I know what you mean. Like on paper, I think it's more effective. But
if you think about it, all they gave him was an aphrodisiac. It was just cow Viagra.
Just cow Viagra.
How does that make someone decapitate a lady?
That's a T-shirt. Just cow Viagra.
Just cow Viagra. Sure. Although then again, like that's also one of those things where it's like, somebody has never done drugs before, just thinks that cow Viagra will,
it was basically a Red
make
Bull.
that. Yeah, right. Right.
Extrapolate that. The movie felt like, exploitation. Like I've just discovered exploitation.
That's how you described it to me. We were texting about this, right?
I don't know, Liam. How'd that strike you? How did that? How did the coalescing of all of its horrors at the end kind of strike you, and how did it work for you?
Well, unfortunately, I already knew how it ended before I watched the movie. That was, I think, a big. I don't want to say injustice. I might have honestly been better knowing what happens in the end going into it. That definitely softened the blow a bit.
Yeah, it sucked. I didn't know anything about anything when I started this, and that was a bummer.
Did you watch this with Kaylin?
No, God, no. I don't watch any of these with my wife, especially not the worst one ever. I knew that much.
I don't know. You guys live together?
Yes, and I plan my horror movie night is Monday because she has a double at the gym, so she's gone for a good 3-4 hours.
Got it. Yeah, got it.
That's horror movie night.
Yeah,
I watched it with Maddie. She fell asleep for a lot of it.
Oh, thank God.
Oh no, well she fell asleep. She fell asleep during newborn porn, but she was awake for everything else. I think.
Got it.
Yeah. So the opposite of what the character went on.
So I feel like we've heard a lot of me trying to lift this movie up into something that it's probably not.
No, I think you're doing a good. I am on team, very much on team. This is a compelling movie.
But I want to hear the 1-star review too.
that's nice.
Oh
for
yeah,
you.
I'm here for Austin because he's the hater of the group
That-
always, and I like his bit.
I don't know if I like hater.
He's the most, I would say, stable person. He's like
Thank you, Liam, for that qualifier.
For that measured compliment.
I'm a very stable genius.
he is, honestly.
Thank you, Liam. This movie's bad. This movie is in the metaphors that I think it's trying to convey. It is so heavy-handed. It's like, well, it's like we're being fucked from birth. So why don't we show a baby being fucked? Like, oh Jesus! It's like, oh, Mother Serbia fucks us, their children. We'll have him fuck his child. Like, it's like, okay. So if that's what you're trying to convey, it is so aggressively heavy-handed that I don't think it's an effective use of your metaphor, and it is so aggressively dark that I am going to, as an audience member, I'm going to pull back to shield myself from all of this, and I can't engage. So like, it makes me put up a wall. It makes me put up a shield when you go that extreme for that long. First of all, none of us have mentioned this movie is kind of boring. This movie is very slow.
I put that in my original Letterboxd review that the only, other than like the newborn scene, the only real emotion I felt through the whole thing was a good bit of boredom, because that first hour is brutal.
Yeah, it's a slog.
It's a slog.
You know what's
like,
funny though?
when I see this guy fucking for so long, I'm like, okay, I get it.
I think
This guy fucks.
in my shutdown, I think I spent 6 minutes on the, or not 6 minutes, 6 seconds on the first hour of the movie, and then like once that hour flips, it gets a little complicated, but that first hour is pretty sluggish.
I think maybe this movie
sluggy.
took me a little bit off guard for that first hour, because I think that the guy who played Milos was pretty good.
I agree.
So I was like,
let's get into
I
that.
can watch this guy.
Let's get into that.
I totally
think
agree.
the acting performances are great.
Yeah.
I totally
in this
agree.
movie.
I will not shit on the acting. First of all, well, I'll shit on it only in that, like, you read the script and you're like, yeah, I'll fuck the baby. I'll do it. But
Well,
no,
they
the
did
acting,
not cast that guy.
The acting was solid across the board.
And that's so weird because we've watched, all of us here have watched a lot of foreign films, and arguably it's kind of hard to judge if an acting performance is good or not.
I'm sorry, just really quickly. I accidentally, like, the sound cut out for a second, so I heard the word weird. Did you say we all watch a lot of porn films?
Foreign.
Got it.
Foreign.
Okay.
Foreign.
Important context.
But,
Just the rest of the
I
statement.
mean, for some people at that table, that wouldn't be a lie.
los dos.
I think it's probably the case for every person.
And
in
that's
this
appropriate for
conversation.
this conversation. But all of us watch a lot of foreign films, and I would say it's arguably kind of hard to discern as American English speakers if a performance is good or not, because you don't know other languages, intonations, and things like that. That's what I was surprised about this movie was that this acting performance was like very striking by Milos specifically. And I think the director also did a great job of being a fucking psycho
did that.
and an evil guy.
Yeah.
And also his wife.
His wife was really good.
His wife was really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was great.
Okay, now we talk about the son.
Do we have to talk about the son, though? Do we have to?
Because the scenes with because this movie starts with his son watching his dad's porno, and so right off the bat you're like, oh, this is icky.
Yeah, you're already
You're
icked out.
already icked.
Yeah.
Guess what? Not bad writing there to make that full circle.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, so the movie's good.
That whole last scene, I'm like, don't do it. Don't do it. I know you're doing it. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Yeah, but like the things that this movie had to say about family I think was great, but also it went in a weird route when Milos was like trying to tell his son how to handle sexual thoughts.
The family of wheels.
Yeah, the wheels stuff.
Yeah. Have your hand follow wheel to your penis. Why are we doing? Why am I watching?
But at the same time, it's like, you know what? How would a porn actor try to navigate sex with the kid?
That kid's too young. How old is that kid?
6.
That's too young.
Probably.
That's too young for that talk. That's
Yeah.
the like, we'll wait 5 years, then we'll have that
Yeah.
talk. Is what I would say. I don't know.
That
Yeah.
whole that
It's a
stuff
little
kind
young.
of made me icky a little bit. I didn't really.
Oh, that made you a little icky.
that was a
oh,
little-
just that, part was a little
that
icky.
was a little icky.
The whole fucking movie's icky.
And then I actually did like that the movie was trying to set a boundary almost of like we're not going this far. In that when they're going through he never fucks that one young girl that he's always encountering, like when he first starts the movie and there's that like older young girl.
Jaka.
Yes. That's when the character or Milos is like he's first getting the feelings of like I'm not into this because like I will not fuck a kid. So because as an audience member you're like okay thank God like we're not doing this. So the movie almost always sets that boundary because we're not
Almost
going-
always.
I mean, exactly, and then it's like, and then it finds a loophole and to cross that boundary, which is what
Almost
it's
always.
a brilliant writing thing in my opinion. Of like we set a boundary, but we crossed it anyway.
Kid fucking is the boundary that we're discussing, right?
That's it. Well, okay, so then maybe,
I don't feel
so
like
then
you should
maybe-
have to set the boundary.
That daddy boundary's always set. That's one of
I don't
the
know.
universal boundaries.
But I guess,
might need
I
to
guess
remind
that, has,
them.
that has to do with like a bias maybe going into this movie of like I've heard this movie does some shit, and I guess if you don't know anything about this movie, you don't have that feeling. But when you know something about this movie going into it, and it starts like looking at a younger girl, you're like, oh fuck. You know,
Sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
and
no,
then and then he goes, "No, I don't want to." You're like, "Oh, thank God."
yeah.
So
Yeah, I figured we would ramp up to that. I figured we wouldn't start there, but I knew we would get there.
Yeah.
If you're gonna open that door that early, like, okay, we're gonna end up with someone fucking some sort of kid.
Some sort of
some
kid.
sort of. I don't know.
Maybe a little foreshadowing.
Maybe a little bit
Foreskin shadowing.
foreskin shadowing.
Foreskin shadowing. Okay, all right.
They did a good job. Do you think that was really his penis?
Absolutely not.
No.
No. Not the times it was obviously not his penis, but the times when he was standing there naked.
Yeah, no.
You don't think that was his big honker?
No.
I thought that was his big honker. But
Absolutely
when
not.
you talking
Because
about
I was saying that's a good job of like blending real penis with fake penis because it felt more real when it was obvious fake penis. Also, jamming his dick into that person's eye socket.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the fucker. That's the best weapon you have at your available to you.
I thought I was gonna have a heart attack.
I
What the
did cackle out loud alone.
Like, what
so
the fuck is happening?
It did.
Well, it's because like that to me, like the movie, like that. There's a point where you're like, oh, okay, we're just throwing out any semblance of reality now.
So you
right?
didn't think that was his real honker?
I don't think so, no.
I thought it was his real
You mean-
dick.
I thought like we talking
When he's
like,
just standing there
softies?
naked.
When it's softy,
Not when it's hard.
when it's softy, I think it was his peener.
I do too.
I highly doubt it.
You
Why?
doubt it? What do you think?
Just don't think so.
No.
Liam, do you think it was his real dick?
I'm gonna say no.
Oh,
No?
Then the nose have it. We
I
actually
guess
we have a tiebreaker.
the nose have
now.
it.
I know.
I also I'm like, I'm
The
also
nose
sitting
have
here,
it.
like
What-
trying to figure out like
Wasn't his dick?
why is it that you and I thought it was real, and I don't, we're not spending
looked
time on
really
this.
good.
It
Why?
did look really
I
good.
paused it and I really looked.
You gotta fucking know.
You just
That's why we're thankful for Arrow for having 1080. We're thankful for Arrow for having 1080 output.
yes,
we can fucking
yeah.
see
That's
these things
true.
now.
Yeah, unlike Shudder.
Ah!
Oh.
Better than ever.
What else do we have to say about the Serbian
well,
film?
Liam, keep us going. Keep taking us on your journey.
Yeah,
Oof,
15
more on the
pages,
journey. Let's see here. Let me see.
Well, yeah, I mean,
here.
just give us the points
I
that
will
you
say-
wanted to run through.
Oh, fun fact: the guy who played Vukmir in real life is a political activist who runs a charity for children. Believe it or not.
Currently?
Yes, and
Wow,
he's
hell
been
yeah.
doing it since the 90s. So he was a child's charity giver guy
So just-
during the shooting of this movie.
Just to be clear, which one was Vukmir?
Oh, yeah. The director.
The director.
Got it. So he didn't fuck a kid in the movie.
Correct.
No.
No.
Okay,
Not that guy.
that feels
I mean,
a
I'm
little bit better.
I'm sure he saw the script.
Yeah.
Again, we do not have the.
He's like, I don't
Serbian-
understand the motivation for newborn porn. Can you help me here?
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay. Okay.
And more on the acting too. All those actors who were in the film were, well, I'm not too sure about the kid. He's just a kid. But all of the actors
Which kid?
were the director's first and the writer's first choice. They are renowned film stars in their section of the world. They are like the top of the top in that area. And they went to them and they were like, we have this film that's very cheap. We'd like to make this little thing. And all of them like read the script and like agreed like across the board. First pick draft on everyone.
Wow.
Fuck yeah.
Well, I understand Milo.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm grabbing how many titties? I'm in.
Yeah. He's like, I can look like, how's this body? Is it fine?
Yes.
Yeah.
Great.
This
Well,
is porn star body?
you're going to
Fuck
shoot
yeah.
me younger? Are you going to recast and then just use me now?
Yeah.
Do no make? Okay, great.
What
Hell
about
yeah.
what about with my teeth? Because I'm going to show my teeth a lot.
Yeah.
What about my huge donger?
it.
Are you going to see the donger?
What about I have a really tiny penis? Can you please help me out?
Can you strap on a giant
Yeah.
one?
Yeah, deal
That's
for that
my
guy.
umbrage with this movie.
By the way, hold on, real quick. If that's the case, right, and he had like this really tiny peener, right,
Uh-huh.
like a micro peener,
Sure.
and they're just like, we really love you though.
Yeah.
We really just love the vibe you got going on
Sure.
with the rest of your body. We just need to like just put a giant.
I would demand a giant dick regardless.
Oh yeah.
Before anyone saw it, I'd be like, I need a giant one.
Sir, this is an animated film.
I need a hilariously giant dick.
This is a VO gig, dude.
I know what I said. It's for my
You're not
character.
going to be on film, Mr. Firmer.
It's for my character. My character has a giant dick, and I do know what that feels like. I mean, I do know what it feels like.
We have behind the scenes content that's going to be shown later.
Good. Get me my dick. Where's my dick? Why are you still standing here?
Okay. Liam, please continue educating us on the actors. Please don't tell me that any of them are real life kid fuckers.
What about the brother?
No. What?
The brother.
He's great.
He's a cop.
The cop
No,
brother.
solid actor. All of them are still working on and off to this day. Political activist guy actually was in some sort of protest riot. He got beaten up pretty badly. Actually, that happened recently, like in the past year.
Holy shit.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, they've been doing some crazy stuff. But honestly, they're pretty normal people outside of that. I did some looking into them, and there's like, other than just like being actors, and the one guy super hardcore into politics. Oh, Milos, how did I forget it? Is a drummer. He's a musician. He's in several bands, actually.
The
Something like
irony.
that.
And
Huge dick. Huge
we
real
all
dick.
have huge dicks.
Watching their hit song, I Fucked My Son.
Let that be the, well, not that part. Let the giant dick be the takeaway.
Hell yeah.
I would say other than that, the director's character, Vukmir, they said, the writer said that when he was writing the character, he was very much inspired by the European film board and like the European film groups, because there were really no companies in Eastern Europe, especially during that post-war time. So if you want to make a film, you had to go through like European like unions and like film groups and film boards, stuff like that. And whenever they tried making stuff, it was the same kind of demands of going back to like the misery porn, like the victimization and like the nationalism and stuff like that. They were very demanding. They were very pretentious and they knew what they wanted, and they were like very, very deliberate. They were like, we want more of this specific thing. If you don't have I believe to quote him, he said, if the film doesn't have a barefoot girl crying in the streets, they didn't want it.
Yeah. That tracks
Wow.
for like the bare minimum for that sort of thing.
Huh.
Yeah.
It seems easier to write.
What was the budget for this movie? Do we know?
I don't actually know. All I know is that it grossed $1,600 on
yeah.
theater.
Can you repeat that?
Hell yeah.
$1,600 because
Yes.
no one would show it.
I wonder
tried-
why.
Yeah.
How did they get funding?
Through the film board. Eventually, they like begged and pleaded and begged and begged, and through different fundraising, and I guess they had like American connections and connections like in Western Europe. Eventually, they self-raised money without any of those other authorities, and it became I think it's the first completely independent film ever released in Serbia, if I remember correctly.
Oh, wow. That's
Fuck yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, unlisted as to what it cost.
That looks, I would say, $1 million.
Yeah, maybe.
I put it
2010,
2010 Serbia. I have no idea. Frankly, no idea.
800K to $1 million.
It's 400.
Half mil?
400.
Half mil.
Not a half mil.
Yeah.
400.
Right.
You do that movie 400.
Yeah.
FX location. I don't know what the
lot of
locations
characters.
cost there.
Yeah. I'm gonna say $1 million sounds right.
So maybe still in the red.
I could do it for 400.
Yeah. I could do.
You do for 4.
Austin, you want to remake this?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sign me up.
Liam, do you want to star in it?
I know a down on her
no.
luck pregnant woman.
Down on her luck. Why she gotta be down on her luck?
Dude, when she starts smiling
Yeah.
at the camera, I was
Yeah.
like, dear fucking Jesus.
Yeah.
You know? The like
Oh Christ!
yeah,
I know
was
it's
like,
so It's so fucking.
because I was like, don't smile.
Yeah.
Don't fucking smile,
Yeah,
bitch.
yeah.
Don't
Don't-
fucking do it.
don't
Oh,
be-
goddamn.
Don't be into this. Don't be.
You're into it.
And then some of the end sing. I'm like, don't be his son. Don't be his son. Don't be. Of course, it's his fucking.
You guys,
okay,
did you guys have the moment too where you're like, is that actual birth happening?
no.
A little bit.
There's a moment where I was like, is that an
little bit.
actual birth?
I question. Yeah, you questioned.
I
it.
questioned it.
Yeah,
A little bit. It looked good.
It looked good. It looked
It
pretty
looks
good.
very good.
Maybe $1.5 million. Just to get that birth right.
I could do that shot for $80 and a pack of Camels.
This room.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here's the delivery table right here.
We got pretty good
Yeah,
lights
great.
for it.
Okay.
TBH.
See?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I think I equate this movie to like a noise punk album.
Okay.
valid.
You know, it's way more of like,
It's just a Merzbow record.
yeah, it's
Yeah, actually, that's not wrong, dude. This is just a fucking Merzbow record.
That's his stitches.
Yes. Sitches.
Stitches. Merzbow.
Okay.
Merzbow and stitches.
like a politically aware noise punk album.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what this movie is.
Merzbow.
Yeah.
Merzbow.
Merzbow, duh.
Yeah.
Merzbow and stitches.
If I'm saying that wrong, Mr. Merzbow, which I might be.
So like you kind of got like sift through the bullshit and like what you're seeing here you don't like and it's not visually pleasing at all. There is a heart there.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not gonna lie, Lucas. That sounded like the end of a Rate This Bitch.
In that there are literally hearts in this movie
Yeah.
because there are people.
Yeah.
Sure.
Did anyone have a favorite part?
Excuse me?
Did you have a favorite part? You
Did you
start.
just ask us if we had a favorite part of the fuck?
Do
Mine,
part.
mine was when it ended.
Actually, no, I do have a favorite part.
Actually, I do have a favorite part.
There we go. Coming out the woodwork.
There we go.
Dick spearing all day.
My favorite part was him getting the headphone in his ear when he's like first drugged up, and he like has to violently cut off her head. Like that was kind of like, I hated it, but that was cool.
Yeah.
Sorry, I think Liam, please.
Save me.
You know, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. It was actually that, that's a scene I could see being in like a slasher movie.
Right. That's a scene that kind of makes sense.
Like,
in a
I don't
way.
know if, like, I could see like a version of this movie where like Jason comes out the bed and cuts her head off while some other dude's doing her, and he's like not paying attention, like eyes closed, looking at the ceiling, and then looks down and is like, "Oh my god, you don't have a fucking head." Like, I could see that definitely happening for sure. I think him doing it is a Serbian film exclusive, but
Exclusive.
Actually, that
Real trap shit.
that brings up the one other topic that I wanted to discuss with you guys about, and that's that. Do you guys, after watching this, right? Do you think this is overhyped?
I was going to ask that question. God. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
Define overhyped.
In other words, like this is the thing that like so many people
Yes.
like you Google, most fucked up movies ever made, right? This is usually in the top 5, right?
Yes.
It's always talked about as being this like this forbidden thing in a way, right?
In that way, I'd say no. I think there are movies that have affected me more, and there's movies that I find much more scary, much more interesting. But I mean, dude, you gotta fucking newborn fucking and a guy fucking his own son. Like that earns you a seat at the top.
How do you
like,
overhype that?
Like I get it. Like
I guess I don't feel the same way about seeing it as I did hearing it.
Yeah, same. Big same.
Yeah, that would say that's where my opinion
It's
lies,
still
too.
fucked, but I'm just
Yeah.
like, I think you could have made it fuckier.
It like honestly, like it's one of those movies where like you go into it really expecting it to be a thing. It's like being told you're going to the doctor when you're a kid and you have to get a shot, right? You know what? Never mind.
No, that's
Yeah.
good. No,
Continue.
we're good.
Go
We're
on.
good. It's good. Go on. Keep going. This is good.
That's
Right.
how numb Cody was to this movie.
It's like when you get a boo boo. You got your boo boo.
You go to the shot. You got to get a shot, right? And your parents are like, "You're gonna get a shot," and you're like, "Fuck, dude, I'm gonna get a shot." And you're
Cody's 7
terrified of
years
it,
old.
right?
Ah, fuck, dude, I gotta go get this shot right.
I'm so afraid of the
All right,
shot,
Mom.
right? Then you get there and you get the shot. It's never that bad, right? By the way, this is still
I
me
hated
today,
it. I
right?
hated it.
I know I'm getting a shot. Okay, the point being,
Yeah.
you watch the movie.
I get
it
what you're
doesn't
saying,
feel
yes.
as bad
Yeah.
as you expect it to.
Yeah.
Obviously,
Yeah.
it's still fucked up, but I don't think that, like, I actually think there are other, like, I think Martyrs is way more fucked up than this, like, and difficult to watch than this movie.
That's weird.
I agree.
I find Martyrs very easy to watch.
It
I
is
think
his comfort.
uncomfortably
It is his
easy to
comfort
watch.
movie.
But yeah, I mean, it is, but because
I think
now
Liam and I are on the opposite side of this coin that we're talking about. You guys are same coin. We're just on the other side.
Okay. No, yeah.
so.
But the Martyrs is so it is actually easy to watch because it's like it's what I was talking about when we did this. I think it's poppy. It feels like a fucking
Yeah.
action blockbuster sometimes.
No, let me clarify.
Yeah.
I would rather watch Martyrs.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
But
Yes.
like
Yes.
Martyrs, I think hits so much harder, and I don't think that is overhyped in any way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That shotgun blasts and
Yeah.
all of this. Yeah, Martyrs. The big pieces in Martyrs, like the opening the door and just like shotgun straight to the family with like zero context and just like the different
Right.
pieces that make
Yep.
up that film all hit like a sledgehammer.
Yep.
And I didn't feel that in a Serbian film at all. I
Yeah.
felt like after certain scenes, I felt gross, but going into it, nothing really like struck me or punched me or like lunged at me.
Yeah, like
I think that's part of my problem with a Serbian film is because it becomes such an onslaught of like stuff and like horrible stuff. It kind of none of it really hits because there aren't like peaks and valleys. It's just kind of like ends up here. So to the point like I'm tuned out to all the stuff. And like obviously like the kid fucking stuff is so awful, like that's gonna hit you. But it becomes this just sort of like sloppy mess of like shit versus something like Martyrs that's a little more strategic in those moments. Those moments hit really hard because you're invested and you're not expecting those kinds of things, and they're planned out in a way where they really grab like it's a punch versus like
Yeah.
I feel like if I was getting like beat to death. After a while, I'm just not even feeling the punches. I'm just like, But if I got punched like really hard in the face, like 3 times a day, those would hit a lot harder. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, completely. Because like I go to watch this movie and I expect that when it's done, I should want to cut off my own penis, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's a wild expectation, but yeah, I get it. I get it.
Sure, man.
I'm broken. Okay,
You can't.
I don't know
That's
what to tell
that's
you.
what the internet told us to expect from this film,
Yeah.
and that's not necessarily the film's fault.
No, it's not.
I think I maybe did myself a service then in not reading what exactly was going to happen in this movie. Because
Yeah.
then if we're talking about what I don't know, what the hype was, only other than this is one of the most fucked up movies ever made.
The moment this fucking thing
I
came
didn't get
out,
any specifics.
the moment this fucking thing came out, it was immediately just like all over the internet
Yeah.
as this like this is the most subversive movie that has ever been made.
You know,
Hilariously,
ironically, I
to
didn't-
Curtis's points, bring up Stitches earlier. It did try to play at a film festival in Spain, and the program director of the film festival, when
Don't look at us like that, Curtis. Sorry, Liam. Please keep talking.
Go on.
when they found out that he was trying to play this film to an audience, they arrested the program director of the festival on charges of child pornography.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Can you say that again?
Yeah.
Wow.
They arrested the program director of the film festival for trying to play a Serbian film to a horror film festival, and they arrested him on charges of child pornography, which didn't land in court, didn't go anywhere, but still an attempt was made. That's how crazy that the this film was at the time.
Pulled a real Holocaust on him. Cannibal Holocaust.
Yeah, that
Jesus.
guy was like, I don't want to get into that.
Yeah.
We can let them in this. We can let this movie in our film festival.
Yeah.
This was not Stitches, right?
Sitges and
Sitges,
no.
sorry.
It's gonna be Stitches.
You motherfuckers.
Liam.
Something.
Which movie's better, this or Cannibal Holocaust?
Ooh, Cannibal Holocaust.
Yes,
Yeah,
all
fuck yeah.
day.
Wrong.
Yeah. Austin?
Which
Horrendously, I have more fun watching Cannibal Holocaust. I
Big
say
fan,
fun
dude.
in like
Fuck yeah.
quotation marks with like a disclaimer around it, like in a nice little bubble. But
I think I think Cannibal Holocaust is a better movie.
yeah,
I think it's better
Of course it is.
because I remember.
Sorry.
I think that movie had to hurt real things to do what it wanted to do, and so ergo, it's not art. That's snuff.
I think there's a cut. I think there's a cut of Cannibal Holocaust with the animal stuff taken out, and it's
there is, and I
it's,
own it. It's on my shelf behind me,
and
I watch it regularly. Not regularly, but every so often.
You watch it; it's okay. We're on a paywall
Every
Liam.
night.
It's okay.
Every Christmas.
We're
every
behind
Christmas.
a paywall. Don't worry. It's okay.
But-
you can say whatever you want here.
my point being, I think that version of that movie still works.
Yes.
Yes, I
I do
agree.
not. I don't think the animal stuff is required of that movie. I honestly, with a Serbian film, I honestly think if you take out all the kid fucking, I don't know that we're talking about this movie. I just don't see much in it that is that remarkable beyond just how dark and aggressive it's willing to go that other movies aren't. I just don't know that it. I just really think if you peel away the like peaks of depravity and you take that out of the equation, like what you're left with is, I really honestly think pretty fine, mediocre, sexually driven horror stuff. Nothing really there to write home about. Nothing really there to get too upset about either. I think it kind of becomes this forgotten thing if you take out the like most aggressive, horrible shit. That's
I buy
in
that.
movie.
Yep.
I buy that.
And so for me, that makes your movie a failure because talking about something like Cannibal
Now you're
Holocaust,
being mean.
but I'm saying with something like Cannibal Holocaust, you take out the worst of it, which is the real animal death. I think it still works as a movie.
Still a banger.
You take out the worst of a Serbian film, I think no one's talking about it. I think it's totally unremarkable. And that's just my 2 cents.
Yeah.
but at the same time, are we talking about Cannibal Holocaust without the real animal death?
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
It's the first found footage film ever.
I would say yes because there was a lot of legal stuff. Like they had like all the
People thought
PR
that-
behind that, the FBI and the pretending to be dead for a year, like all
Yeah.
that stuff did numbers for that film.
OG fucking Blair Witch level marketing campaigns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The people thought they killed people, and I get it.
Yeah, I mean, it was one of the most. It's one of the most groundbreaking movies that has ever been made. People were handing out barf bags even for the screenings that didn't have the animal death scenes in them.
Yeah.
Which is fair because those aren't the worst parts of that movie.
It's rough, but
In theory, there's an argument. I mean, if I didn't know that these animals were really being killed, it's certainly not the worst part of that movie. But because I know that the animals were being, you know what I mean?
Sure.
Yeah, for me, the animal stuff's definitely the worst part of that movie.
Oh, it is.
It's the
Don't-
hardest to watch.
Don't get me wrong, because they're actually killing animals. That is by far the worst part.
but
Do you know what I mean, though? But
I
like,
do.
because the human deaths in that are done very well.
I think we're dismissing Sweet Lucas's point, and
Poor Sweet Lucas.
that's that he feels very passionate about this movie. I can tell.
About Serbian film?
Yes.
In
it's
that,
your new identity. We
in
get
that
You should make this your personality.
It's going to be number one on your
Don't say
letterbox.
this. It's behind a paywall, so people are never going to find out about this.
Until we release it for free.
That I do feel like I'm defending a noise punk album here. in that like, I fucking liked it.
Sure.
You know,
Yeah, that's all that matters, buddy.
And that's all.
I'm only a
that's all
half
it
star
is.
behind you.
Fuck yeah.
I'm in the middle. I like the movie. I'm not going to buy it.
Yeah.
Does that mean
Oh,
it's
hell no. I specifically have promised my girlfriend that this is a film I would never buy on physical media, and she's not allowed to listen to this episode at all.
I love that. I love that this
Smart.
was like a conversation that was had with your
Smart.
girlfriend too. Where you're like, just did you prep her? Like, so here's the deal. I'm gonna
Yeah.
watch this thing.
I was like, she's like musical theater major, grew up on Disney films. She actually like in high school she would dress as like Disney princesses and like do birthday parties and stuff. Like
yeah.
very
yeah.
sweet la, la, la person. And I was like, look, I'm gonna do a podcast. Okay, it's behind a paywall. You're not allowed to watch it. I'm talking about a very specific film. Do not look it up. I'm not even telling you the name of the film. You are a band, bard. Don't ask me about it. If they invite me back on the show to do like a lighter film, maybe I'll give you access. But as of right now, don't. This is blacked out CIA classified. Do not know.
Well,
Don't ask me what I do.
Tell us what movie she does want us to watch, and we'll do that with you.
We'll do Princess and the Frog.
Yeah, we'll do Princess in the Front.
That movie rips, dude.
I love that movie.
That movie rips. I'll
Dude,
watch
that's
that.
one of the scariest villains Disney's ever come up with.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Fucking Keith David.
I haven't watched that one yet.
Oh, it's good.
Oh, dude,
Yeah?
it's good.
It's
Me
really
either.
good.
It's very good. Should we rate it?
It's time to rate this.
It's
bitch?
time to rate the bitch.
Okay, we'll rate the
this
pitch.
motherfucker.
Liam, do you want to go first?
Sure, I give this film one penis-shaped cigarette lighter because I didn't think that I would be too interested in it. And then when I pressed the button, suddenly I was looking at it for much longer than I expected to be.
Fucking yeah, dude.
yeah, dude.
Dude listens to the show.
Yeah, he's got that
He
dialed in.
listens to
Fuck.
the show.
Listens to the show.
Fuck yeah.
I will give A Serbian Film the first Sony digital camera because it's not necessarily its fault what it is, but it still could have used it better.
Well done.
Yeah,
Fair.
don't really like it. Not as hyped as I was expecting, but not the fucking worst thing ever. That's to Jess's review on Letterboxd. I've seen worse. That's what it is.
Oh, I wanted to ask about that. What do you mean she's seen worse? What does she mean she's seen worse?
It's a few fold. She's seen worse movies, and she's felt like she's seen worse shit in movies.
Me too.
Newborn porn notwithstanding, I believe.
Yeah.
Okay.
But more affecting things.
Sure.
So
I can't believe she watched it.
I think the point of like, Jess, this is the most hardcore thing on the planet. She's like, well, I'm fucking interested.
Yeah, you
She's
got
like, I got to see these fucking warlocks. That sort of shit.
I gotta see these warlocks. Is that a super bad
Yeah.
I give this film. Have you seen a Serbian film? Because that's the most interesting thing about this is the lore around it.
Yeah.
And I gave this movie one very well endowed but possibly fake penis. Because I think it's a perfectly fine movie, but it probably could be better.
Yeah.
Shudcast approved.
Whoa!
Sorry, I felt
Whoa,
like I
Lucas,
thought we
man
got
of the
yours.
hour
I'm so
here.
sorry.
Going back to the early episodes where I just kept skipping him all the time. Fuck.
It's because we did 4.
For whatever reason.
It's because we did 4.
I know the timing
Lucas
of it
always
all.
goes last.
Feelings
God damn.
are hurt. However, I'm still going to give this movie a 30-minute masturbation session
Oh, okay.
with a 4-foot pipe. Because you shouldn't do it. Don't do it.
This is why he's the king. That's why he's the king of shut.
But
Never mind.
it probably felt good while you were on your fucking cow Viagra.
This is why he's the king. Yeah. He's the king of ratings.
How does your mind do that?
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Just kept going.
Shudcast approved.
No.
Yes.
No.
No.
You don't need to watch
No.
it.
Oh,
Wow! I love
No.
what a fucking wild card he is.
No. I don't want people to watch this movie.
But
The,
it's
the
my
world
fact.
is not a good place if everyone is watching Serbian film.
You're gonna leave me.
That's not a good world. That's
Excuse
not
me.
a world I want to
Excuse
live in,
me.
where
You're-
everyone's watching a Serbian film. No,
at all times, or just in general.
in general,
Yeah.
no one should watch this movie.
I'm a big
The
fan
only
of
it's only the
Lucas.
creeps that are in it.
I like this energy.
I love that.
Liam, do you want to cast your vote?
No.
No.
Well,
As
Standing.
much
I'm
as
on a
I
fucking
love it,
island.
I do agree. I think that this is a thing that needs to be hidden behind a paywall, literally and metaphorically. It's for a very specific few people, and that $1,600 box office is really. We should stick to something close to that number for this. I think
Maybe 2,000. It could.
you should only buy this off of like Diabolic D. You have to like find this film.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that's why I think that it still has merit, right? Because I hope it always remains like the thing that like you either have to go watch the shitty version on YouTube, or Arrow doesn't if Arrow doesn't have it, or somebody else,
Yeah.
or you have to do what I do and go to a video store and actually hand it to a person
look
to then
the
check
person
it
in
out,
the eye
right?
and-
Yeah, and
Yeah.
the guy looked at it, he goes region coded. And I was like, yeah, it's all good. He goes, okay, cool.
Yeah. I love that he clocked it. And that's very nice of him.
Oh, it is. It's very nice.
Also,
Yeah,
thank you, Serbian Film, for giving our podcast a new monetary goal of making more money than
A Serbian.
Love that.
Fuck yeah! I love that.
Will be the goal. We've not made more money than a Serbian
Yeah,
film.
we made more money than that.
Theatrically.
We should have a Patreon tier that's a Serbian film and it's $1,600. And it's like, just give us more money than a Serbian film.
It's pretty good.
We should do that. That would be fun.
Not a bad idea.
Who knows?
Could we sucker into that?
Liam, thank you so much for doing this.
Yes, this was awesome,
No problem,
man.
no
Thank
problem.
you.
It's great to meet you, man.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah,
Of course.
Thanks for being a
It was
real
nice to meet
one.
you guys too. Finally.
Yeah, thank
Yeah.
you for being a real one. Thank you for listening
Yeah.
over the years, for supporting us, for telling people about us. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love that you listen to us at work, which I'm not going to lie, in my head, I'm like, does he listen to it just over the speakers in the lobby?
Sometimes
of the movie
I've done it
theater?
before. At my old job,
yeah.
I would
Fuck
have
yeah.
to. At my old job, I would have these crazy days where a school would want like 100 pizzas by 10 a.m. So I would clock in at like 7 in the morning and start like stretching dough, and I would have a speaker, and the oven was like off, so it was like dead quiet. And I put my little JBL speaker at the front, and I would connect to like Chudcast Spotify, and I would just like roll with it.
Love that.
Hell
Us talking
yeah.
about whether or not we can drink out of toilets.
So Shudcast infused pizzas that those kids ate.
Yes!
They're all going to be monsters. Look at that. Again, dude, thank you so much.
Yeah, man, you're the
Yeah, no
best.
problem.
Yeah.
Thanks for doing this. This is
Listener,
great.
viewer, watcher, you've already paid to be here, but if you want to be a part of this and do things more, tell us. We might let you in on
Yeah,
it. We'll
let us
see.
know on Discord what you want. We'll do more stuff.
Yeah. And thank you for being here because you've so graciously contributed to us doing this and getting to meet Liam and hanging out. Lucas just caught a moth with his hand. I'm so
he did.
sorry.
I watched
That was
whole
crazy.
event.
Bam. Did you see that, Liam? Did you see?
I think I saw a movement. I don't know if I saw it, but it was he did something wild.
It was pretty sick. I watched the whole thing. It was pretty sick.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for continuing to be here.
Yeah. Until our
fucking-
next Patreon thing. I don't know what we know what that. Do we know what that is?
We don't know yet.
Well, it's
No.
going to be awesome.
We'll figure it
It'd be
out.
so cool.
It will be.
All right.
All right.
Bye, everyone.
Goodbye,
Okay,
everybody.
bye.
Bye.
Liam, say bye.
Bye.
But like,